Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you with more Enigmatica 2 Expert Mod Pack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. Alright, in this episode we have closed Thaumcraft, so we're done with Thaumcraft. Unfortunately, Thaumcraft is not done with us. A fog has set in and heartbeat is going and my vision is dimming. There are scary things moaning in the darkness. So we're still dealing with a little bit of insanity here. If we look at our insanity meter, the pale pink stuff up at the top, the temporary stuff has sort of worn off. But we still got an awful lot of that medium color pink all through the middle of our bar. So we're going to try and get rid of that stuff so we stop getting problems. So I've been getting things like occasional debuffs and things like this, visual problems, auditory problems. It's not really a big deal, but the only one that's really sort of annoyed me was I think I got something like weakness. I'm sitting here trying to figure out why my thing isn't running, and it's because I forgot to put in another reagent. So we're down here, we just made some purifying bath salts, and we're now making some sanitizing soap. I don't want to spend a ton of time doing this, so I'm going to try and just sort of do it with what we got on hand. See where we get to. Because continuing to do Thaumcraft to cure my Thaumcraft problems is not exactly ideal. Oh, did we just run out of... Yeah, we just ran out of this. Gosh darn it. Alright, so let's throw that down. And throw some more brains on the fire. Yes, that's right. I'm in my pocket dimension, playing with brains, and I wonder why I'm insane. Alright, well, I'm going to continue to do this. We need to get a bit more of this, and that we'll have enough to do 3 purifying bath salts. Now, I'm not sure how many it takes to fill the bath. If we jump outside for a moment, the Arcane Spa, I set that up. It was acting a little glitchy. I'm not 100% sure if either I'm missing something about how it works or if it's just acting a little glitchy. So I originally tried to fill it with water and it didn't act like it was taking any water. So I tried to pipe water in. I clicked buckets on it left and right, and this water bar stayed empty. And then finally I started mashing this button, and when I turned it to just send water out, then the water suddenly was all there and came pouring out. But it creates a 5x5 pool, but I don't know if it needs like 25 of these salts to work. I assume it's 1 salt per bath. If not, that's going to sort of suck. So we're going to make that bath and then jump in it and then see if we can get that sanitizing soap to take some of this off of us, as we see in the top left. The good thing is that the void rift in my brain has stopped. So that's helpful. So we'll get back in here and see if we have enough for one more. So one thing I did, which I got to remember for next time, is that you can actually put these... oh, great. You can actually put these filling Essentia transfers on both sides of the Arcane Alembic. So now it can actually shoot things. Basically, this one wanted to work on stuff from about this line that way. But now this guy will sort of work on this stuff back here. 36. I need more brains. How much do I need to... I only need 20 more. Alright, we'll cook this one last brain. Honest, just one more brain. That's all I need. It's all the stuff I've been cooking up to make stuff. Probably the most interesting ones, if you happen to be watching this and you're trying to find stuff out, one that was really helpful was Invar is used for, or I mean, that instrumentum, I believe it is. Yeah, so instrumentum is used for alchemical brass, and you have to make a lot of that. And the fastest, best single source way I found was Invar shears will make instrumentum. So if you have to make some alchemical brass, I recommend the Invar shears. It's 2 bars of Invar, and you get enough for like multiple bars of, well, not multiple bars, you get enough for, yeah, 3 bars. Well, minus whatever you lose in here, but a couple of bars of brass for a couple of bars of Invar. So anyway, that worked out good. There goes my vision again. How much of this have I got now? Does that go into a different... Oh, well, whatever. We'll hook this back up and hopefully have enough to finish this second bath salt and then move on with our lives. We do have enough alienus, and we have enough of that. But yeah, I was starting to say that on the whole, most of these things aren't really bothering me too much. The heartbeat, the fog, the occasional, like I got unnatural hunger, but my environmental tech personal beacon gives me full saturation, so that didn't really bother me. I got like sun scorched or something that made the screen get a little bright. That was vaguely annoying, but it wasn't that big of a deal. That may cause problems, have like other things like make you take damage in the sunlight or something like that. But again, I'm invulnerable for my personal beacon, so it didn't really affect me much. The only one that really bothered me was, I think it might have been weakness, and it made me walk really slow, and that was annoying. But let's see how this goes. So I think the best chance for the sanitizing soap is if you have a warp ward on you, which you can get with 1 bath salt, and then you get in a purifying bath of the stuff, which hopefully is going to take 1 more bath salt, and then you click on some sanitizing soap. So first, let's go ahead and see if we can get that ward on us, the warp ward. So I need a bucket. So we'll do that and that. Then we'll use just 1 of our bath salts here. Give that a second for the water to look funky. Hopefully. There we go. So the water's bubbling and clear now. So now if we hop in it. Alright, so we've got warp ward on us now. So then we want to stick another bath salt in here. And make a bunch more of this stuff. And then... let's get my sanity meter out here. So we still got plenty of problems. So now I right-clicked on that. That must need to hold. So I right-clicked and held. And it says I've lost warp. I still got plenty of warp on me though. Oh my gosh. Well, that's going to take a whole lot of soap if that's all it does. It's going to take a whole lot of soap. I don't want to spend the next 2 hours making and trying to use bath salts and sanitizing soap. So maybe we'll just go ahead and be insane. Yeah. What do you think, Zombie Steve? I don't know if this slowly takes it off of you as well, if we just hang out here. But I might as well hang out here until the water disappears. I'm not sure if it's continuing to go down or not. Alright, well, I'm going to pause the video here, and one of two things will happen. We've got just a little bit down into that one gold thing, so I'm going to sit here for a while and see if it gets better. If it gets better, great, and if not, we will just continue on with our own insane selves and talk back to the voices, I guess. Back in a bit. Alright, so I went AFK for a while, and this doesn't do anything apparently on its own, and I read up some more on it, and basically of the 3 types of warp, you see in the top left graphic there, it's like the palest pink stuff at the top. The soap will take care of that pretty good, but it had already sort of worn off anyway while I was making the soap. But then that middle big bar of sort of medium pink, the sanitizing soap only has a small chance of taking a small amount off. That chance is optimized if you've got warp ward on you, like I do, and if you are in the purifying bath, which I was, and it seemed to take a little off, but in fact we could see a little of the gold bar being that top gold bar behind it, but actually it seems to have come back, so, and I haven't done anything, so I don't know. But reading online, it looks like, I'd probably have to make, a stack of sanitizing soap and sit there and scrub and scrub and scrub and scrub. And the bottom line is I don't want to spend 2 or 3 hours doing essentia smelting and farting around and making soap. So we're just going to have to be insane, and that's all right. It's all right. Some might say that we are insane to be doing Enigmatica 2 Expert Mod Pack anyway, and I couldn't really argue against them. So, what are we going to do? If we're just going to embrace our insanity and move forward, we have got good chunks of this quest book done. Some of the dribs and drabs here I'm probably just going to leave for later still. I remember I briefly, like 4 years ago or so, played something where I got into dimensions. The only big mod pack I ever played had RF tools, and I think I did dimension building and sort of found it fascinating. So if for no other reason than nostalgia, it would be sort of fun to do that. I don't know if we've got the, if I recall correctly, it was the, let's see, at RF tools, dimension, it was this, the dimension builder, which was a pain in the ass to build. Yeah, so we're not going to do that probably. Although, so we could probably make this. That's all stuff I can do. So we could probably make the quantum compressor. I have my table, I've got a tier 3 table, so I can make that. And so I can apparently make these things, these singularities. I know I can make that. Mirian block, what the heck is that? We have an advanced metallurgic fabricator, and we have all of that stuff, so we can make that junk. Cosmic meatballs. We have, like, I don't know, a whole bunch of neutronium neutron fluid, so we can make, let's see, I've got wither again. I'm assuming this is coming from my warp. I don't see anything attacking me. Oh, and my warp has gone back up. So now I have some of the pale pink stuff, and I think the medium pink stuff may have gone up a little too. Fantastic. Well, we'll just have to sort of see what happens. And I still have warp ward on too. So that's no bueno. Oh well, anyway, back to it. I can tune that out if it happens enough. So what were we looking at? We were looking at if we could get into dimensions, because that might be sort of fun. And for that, we would need to build this. We can make that. An awakened core. I do not have one of these fusion crafting things. I'd really like a better source of draconium first. I wonder if draconium, so let's take a look at, I think the bottom line is we're going to have to go to different planets. Yeah, so like for instance Novus, we can get nether draconium on Novus and get tons of draconium. Or we can go to Kepler 0118. Alright, as much as it's sort of daunting for me to do advanced rocketry, we're just going to have to get on it. Heck, I was daunted by a lot of these mods until I actually got into them. So let's do this. We got to make all of these damn machines. Now I did make some of the what are they? Machine structures? Yes, I did make a few of these, I think. They suck to build. These probably suck a little less now that I have all the UU matter I'll probably ever need. Alright, we got glass. So we're done with the glass part. That's good. Alright, enough babbling. Obviously the insanity is getting serious. So I'm going to try and figure out where we're going to do advanced rocketry. Now, I don't know if you have to launch your rocket from the surface. I assume so. You can't probably launch it from bedrock unless you dig all the way to the surface. But we got to figure out where to put all the machines. I was originally going to put them here until I made this 2 stories tall to accommodate our huge environmental tech stuff. I can knock out these walls and go 2 stories for like the rest of this area. That was one thing I was sort of planning on doing anyway. It's basically extend this floor all the way out to here. And that will give us that whole big area to start building some advanced rocketry machines, because I think those are reasonably sizable multi-block structures. Not like immersive engineering big, but God damn it. I am withering again and have temporary warp again. Alright, whatever. I'm invincible. Just gotta shrug it off. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. I am going to clean all this area out and expand our base out this direction. Break out the old building tools so that this goes pretty quick. And then we'll start pumping out some of these advanced rocketry machines. And I think they've probably got some runtime left on this episode, so I'm going to do that for a while. I'm at bare minimum going to prepare this room for us, and we'll see what it looks like. And I don't know if I'll actually get any machines done, but we'll see where I am. So I'll be back in a second with a progress report. And I decided to change my Astral Sorcery attunement again. I had moved over to something else and taken a bunch of mining speed increases, and it was almost impossible with my good pickaxe not to mine 2 stones at once, and it was driving me nuts because I kept having to repair things. So we are going for Dissidia now, which will give us more damage output, which we might need against the Chaos Dragon. So I think we should be good to go now. Yes, alright. And we have 1 whopping perk point. So we got plus 10% added to critical hit, and now some extra melee damage. And also, I was noticing when I was looking to see if Dissidia was up that I think the third set of, well, I know the third set of, oh man, it's raining. The fact that I can't see any stars, that's because it's raining. And the reason you're not seeing the rain is because I have this rain shield. It prevents the visual and sound effects of the rain for like 5 chunks. But I can tell it's raining out because all the stars go dark and I can't use my telescope. Anyway, bottom line was, to get all the constellations, I had to get the first 5 or so, the primary ones, and then if we go down here, so let's see, you can shift right click with your Astral Sorcery Tome and open up a little inventory. So at the beginning of the game, I was running around whooping on Astral Sorcery things, and I got the first 5 or so constellations, and then I said, it started saying there's nothing here. Well then, when I attuned myself the first time, I was able to pick up some of those more constellation papers and discover the secondary ones. So then there was several more that I could find. And when I finished all those, I didn't know it, but when I finished all those, I was then able to pick up even more constellation papers and find some more. So you can see here I memorized drawings of Alteria, Alcara, Gelu, and Vorax. And I knew there was probably some that I still wasn't seeing, because when the stars are out, I would occasionally have blank things that I'm looking at. And I was pretty sure I got all the secondary ones because I even got Horologium, the one that's only up once per game month. But anyway, so now, again, I'm sort of just thinking, what do we need to do for in-game? And the one thing that has me a bit worried is that I've been really cocky because my environmental tech resistance 5 makes me immune to all damage, but I don't think that is true of chaos damage. So I don't know what the Chaos Guardian is, but I do hear that it kicks ass. So we may need to do something above and beyond having a resistance 5 from our personal beacon. And also my laser gun is perfectly awesome against damn near everything, but I'm not sure it's going to be good enough against the Chaos Dragons, so we might need to look into making some uber end-game weapon. But going up to Cydia, I'll be getting a lot of crit multiplier and a lot of damage. I probably want to get into projectile damage. The laser gun actually does melee damage. But if we get like some of this projectile damage stuff and they get some sort of in-game crossbow or something, we might be able to have better luck. Or the flux-infused bow is another one that I hear people like to use. So anyway, so I just reattuned myself to Decidia so we could go offense. And what else have I been doing? So I continued to work on our base here. So I walled off my room with my environmental tech machines. I got to make a door. I just haven't picked where it is. And I finished the floor and finished the walls in this original room. So it's a little bare, but it's got a little extra space there. I took out some of the things I didn't really think I would need anymore. Like I had a row of dispensers here for farming grains of infinity, things like that. And if we go up a level, so this is down by bedrock, if we go up a level, you can see I also finished the walls in here, walled out the area that leads off to my environmental tech machines. You can see here that on the other side of this wall, that's where my huge things are for environmental tech. So this gives me some room here. This is probably where I'm going to start loading up a bunch of advanced rocketry machines right in here. And then if we go up another level, there's not much going on up here. These are where all my machines are for doing all of my ME auto crafting. And so the other thing is, so this is my reactor room for my nuclear craft fusion reactor. And I hadn't been up here in forever because we've been doing magic stuff, but I wanted to check my neutron fluid, and we are up to 1,377 buckets. So I don't know how much neutronium ingots we need, but I think we got some covered. So this thing's continuing to hum at 1.6 million roughly per output per tick. Let's see what it's doing. Yep, 1.613. So it's been working like a champ. I don't even really think about it anymore. So, yeah. I did tear out my UU Matter machines because we have 608,000 millibuckets, and most of the recipes only use, 18 to 30 to 40 millibuckets each. And the noise from those things was driving me nuts. But let's see. So yeah, basically what we're going to do here is, I don't use any of this stuff. I probably should take it out. The funny thing was I assumed that this setup, which was my sort of first decent power setup, it turns melons into biofuel, and then biofuel into ethylene, and then the ethylene goes into this gas turbine. But the bottom line is, other than needing some juice to spool up to get all the Manulan turbines spinning, this thing's been creating 60,000 per tick without using any fuel almost ever since. So this thing is a bit crazed. And it didn't take that many melons to get it up and running. In fact, most of the melons I've been using, I actually used a lot more melons to get seeds for seed oil for forestry stuff than I ever did for creating 60,000 per tick energy with this Advanced Generators gas turbine. So this thing is an absolute rock star. But the bottom line is, this thing creates melons like crazy. As you can see, it just spits them on out. And I don't need them. I don't even need seed oil much anymore. I think the entire time I've done this, I can bust these out really fast, but so that's coming out at like, 8 or 9 per. And I think in my entire playtime I've used 2,000 melon, and all of that was mostly seed oil. So I could take all of this down. On the back side of it, I have a bunch of nuclear craft machines that we use to make some salts that we needed for something. I probably will need this stuff again, although probably not in this configuration. But anyway, we'll see how much room the advanced rocketry stuff takes. This is a pretty decent little chunk of real estate, and I can always blow the wall out and go further if I need to. There's also a ton of room up in the nuclear reactor room too. If I needed to, I could build some stuff up here. I keep toying with the idea of, just for kicks and giggles, to take my toroid size up. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 plasma, so toroid size 4. But I could extend that out. Let's see, that would be 1, 2, 3. I could go up to like a toroid size 7 or 8 and see, expand both that direction and this direction from that corner, and see just how much power I can pump out of that. As we start heading into Draconium or Draconic Evolution and Avaricia, some of the power requirements on some of that stuff looks pretty epic. 4 million to craft something. But I don't think you need to do it all at once. And we do have a pretty decent sized battery in that, we've got this guy is 204 billion RF as a battery, so that should be good. So yeah, that's sort of what we're doing. I did do some other, while I was running around doing this stuff, I also did a few things, like I pulled out all the thermal expansions, item duct stuff here, and servos, and made some faster ender conduits for this stuff. Just doing some of that junk. I took a look at some of the things in my inventory. So we're basically only using a quarter of our inventory space. Oh, well, we've got some here too. So maybe, maybe a third of our inventory space. But I want to keep an eye on, how the utilization is going here. I have some stupid stuff like 21,000 drops of evil. I don't need 21,000 drops of evil, obviously, but so there's a lot of stupid stuff in there, so we might have to pare that down. I really got to figure out what we're going to need for advanced rocketry, and I may need to expand my ME system for more auto-crafting recipes. This is a pretty petite system, but it's been good enough for what I'm doing. But I do have a number of more crafting modules, ME interfaces, and molecular whatchamajiggets. I just need to figure out how I'm going to pipe them off of a controller. So right now I'm using 11 channels there, 27 channels there, 16 channels there, 32 of 32 channels there. So I still have this face. So here's 32 channels, and so I might have to just run this up, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's hard to use this. I didn't plan well because I'd never built one of these ME systems before, so this being right on top of that is not good. I should have ran that out one or two and then up so that I could come off of this face without interacting with that pipe. But we'll figure it out. We might have to just replumb that a bit. So I could create another couple of things like this coming off of this face of this controller. But anyway, I keep forgetting about this bad boy, but it's nice that I have it because every once in a while I remember to come over and grab some latex for rubber. We might need that as we go back into tech stuff. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing exactly. I am just sort of, well, I tell you what I'm doing. I'm running around building and taking care of some chores, and I keep getting upset by the fact that I'm insane, or Zombie Steve is insane at least, because you can see I've gone down a little, but I keep getting, so I was attacked by purple slimes, some sort of flux or taint slimes. Getting attacked by taint slime, that's just wrong. I'm sorry, but that's just no bueno. Taint slime. I got attacked by eldritch guardians. I've had like all sorts of diseases. It's actually sort of annoying. Sort of not fun. But I don't know, I'm just trying to live through it because I don't want to sit and have to do a bunch of damn, spend hours doing sanitizing soap and boiling essentia for that because it'll probably make me more insane as I'm trying to make a cure. But anyway, that's sort of the state of affairs. If we take a look at this, we just need to start busting these bad boys out, and so I'm going to get into that. We've got everything for that. These are signal and cell frames are a bitch to make. I need to figure out a way to automate those a bit better. The reason they're sort of a bitch is because I haven't figured out the ME system for fluids yet. So piping in and out fluids for automated stuff that involves fluids, I haven't quite figured all that out yet because I haven't needed to do enough of it to make me buckle down and go, all right, how do you do this? I'm going to have to watch my ruby supply because I think I'm going to be using up a bunch of rubies. So we can check that. 104 and 367 ore, so I'm probably good for that. There's another example of my ME system getting a little bad. So all of these I think are just garbage. Alright, so what else do we got to do here? None of that's hard. I think the only really hard parts about these are this annoying thing. That's easy. I just need to automate mostly signalum production, lumium production, the fluid transposer. I need to figure out how how to get that automated better so that I'm not just standing there with the magma crucible and the fluid transposer during signalum and lumium and all of that garbage. All of this mixture of metals and liquids. I haven't quite gotten that down and got it automated yet. So maybe I can work on that a bit. But yeah, all right. Well, this is doable. I think we do have some machine structures. I think they sort of suck too, maybe. Or that's what I was just looking at. Yeah. So I built 18. One of the reasons I'm pissed off and haven't gone into Advanced Rocketry is I thought I was being a good boy and built 18 of them thinking that would mean I would be able to make 18 machines. And then as soon as I unlocked it and started looking at the recipes, I realized that just the precision assembler ends up, using, if you look at the structure itself, I forget how to look at the structure itself. But I think if you look at since it's a multi-block structure, it actually uses multiple machine structures. So that's a pain in the ass. This is just one of the blocks in the multi-block structure. Anyway, I'm whinging. Everything is fine. I'm just upset because Zombie Steve is hallucinating and finding taint slime. Nobody should have to fight off taint slime. Well, I think we're going to call it an episode. I'm going to get some sleep, and tomorrow we will start hitting Advanced Rocketry and see if we can fly to another planet. Maybe the Eldritch Guardians won't follow me there. Or maybe we'll find new and horrible ways to cause ourselves sanity loss, like the Event Horizon movie. We don't need eyes where we are going. Good night. Talk to you later.